Hey guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool.
In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Octopus Deploy. Octopus Deploy is an automated deployment and release management server. It is designed to simplify deployment of ASP.NET applications, Windows services, and databases. After going through this tutorial, I assure you that the concept and understanding of the Octopus Deploy will be absolutely clear to you.
But before we begin, let me inform you a few things about us. DevOpsSchool is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Everything you know is in your mind.
Today we're going to talk about Octopus Deploy. So first question is, what is Octopus Deploy? So basically here, Octopus Deploy is a deployment tool. It's from Octopus. Now it's developed in ASP.NET, and basically it was designed and it was developed for deployment in ASP.NET itself, but now we can use for any other technology also. So you can use for Microsoft technology, Java technology, Node technology. So any other technology also you can use for that. You can use for the cloud also, which includes AWS, Azure, and Kubernetes also, Docker also. So many kind of deployments you can do through this tool. And as part of the architecture of this tool, it is just based on the server and client, where this server is Octopus Deploy, and client it is a tenant. So basically, a place where you can a place where to deploy, a place where place, or let's say target to deploy a server. Okay, now in this, where Octopus deployment server, which always has to be in Windows, okay, because this is based on the ASP.NET, so this has to be always in Windows. Whereas tenants can be Windows, it can be Linux as well, so no problem in it. Okay, so this is the intro about Octopus. So now you need to understand where Octopus stands. Octopus stands in SDLC cycle. Okay, so let's try to understand this, where and all you can use Octopus in SDLC cycle. So let's say we have, let's say, this one product. Let me store this notes. Okay, so let's start with one product. Let's say the product which is called ProdX. Okay, product name is ProdX. Now, when we have this product, now we have to develop this product. So for that, we have a manager which is called Manager X. Now, Manager X is supposed to hire a team and set up a team so which will do the development of production X. So now let's say he has started hiring. He has got architect team. He has got dev team. He's got QA team. He's got IT team. He's got network team. He has got few leads as well, and all these people in his team. So let's say if we have got the architect team, so he is going to use some of the. Let's say we've got two architects who's going to work on planning, design, estimation, competitive analysis, and all this sort of it, you know. And then let's say we have got people, let's say 10 people in development team. Let's say we got a 5 people in QA people also. Let's say we have one IT, we have one network, we have one or two leads. So altogether we got a close to 20 people in our team. Now everyone will start working with it. So now when we start, first thing, very first thing which we start is like a planning, like how can we do that. So very first thing, we do the plan with the help of the architect team. So now planning, for that we use some tools. So what tools you may use for this? So typically we use the tools like Java, Trello, or let's say VSTS, Microsoft product, for the planning, requirement analysis, study, documentation, everything. Once the planning is completed, then the balls came into the development team. So now they started coding a product. So when they start coding the products, then again they use some tools also for that. So let's say what tools he may use. Let's say he may use Get, or maybe SVN, or Clearcase, Perforce. Many tools are there. So once, let's say, planning is done, then coding is done, and then developers has checked in the code in the Git. Then after that, we have to do the code analysis. We call it code analysis. And code analysis we can do. There's a peer code review, static code analysis, dynamic code. So many things are there. Here I'm talking about the SCA, static code analysis. So here, once the code has been stored in the Git, then we analyze the code and try to find it out whether we have a bugs or not. So that probably you are using SonarQube, which is very popular for the code analysis. Once the code analysis will completed, then we do the building the code. Like we want to build the code, compile the code and all. So for the building the code, let's say if your project is Java, then probably you are using Maven. Or let's say if it is a .NET. If it is a .NET, then probably you're using MS Build. MS Build again is a build engine which is inbuilt with the Visual Studio as well, right? So now once we build this thing, then we want to do the unit testing for the product. So typically unit testings again depends on the what kind of languages you are having. So let's say if it is Java, then you use JUnit. If it is a .NET, then we use NUnit. If it is a Ruby, RSpec and all. So like this, we use, these are the tools for unit testing. Once the unit testing is done, then we'll talk about the packaging. So we want to package the product. Now packaging also has a, depends on the requirement, the various, form of packaging that you have. So typically in Java world, we do the jar, var, EAR, all this sort of packaging we do. A zip file, a tarball also we do that. So, but in .NET typically we have a NuGet packages, exe packages, and like that. So these are the packaging format which you use, and then we store the packages. So typically we store the packages in the repository. So now repository, what repository you can use? So let's say typically here you may use Artifactory, or maybe you may use NuGet Gallery also. Depends on that what kind of things you have. So now, so far the development is going on with the multiple tools and techniques with the process and as well. So now till here we have a packages which is gone through the planning, coding, code analysis, build, UT, and then we do the packages in the different format and we store in the repository. So from here, packages has to be deployed. Okay, deployed to where? So deployed to many environments. Let's say you want to deploy these packages in the dev environment, let's say staging environment, integration environment, and then pre-production environment, and then finally production environment. So here, this is the where the challenges which is arising. Okay, so deploy to dev, staging, integration, pre-prod, prod. So this is where that one of the problems, like which tool to use to deploy the packages which we have in the repository, and different complexity. So let's try to understand that what are the kind of complexity you will experience during the deployment. So first thing is, like, let's say one of the environment I'm talking about, the staging environment. Okay, this is the environment you want to deploy. Now deployment has a 200 boxes. Okay, 200 boxes, you got the deployment. Okay, now when you have to deploy in a staging environment, okay, these are the all our environment which you do the deployment. So when you want to deploy in the staging environment, you have a 200 boxes which you have to deploy. So something like this, if one deploy, let's say, take 9 minutes, then also 200 deployments should take also 9 minutes, correct? Yes. If it is one deployment which is taking 9 minutes, so 200 deployments also take 9 minutes. Now let's keep the overall duration 10 minutes. Why 10 minutes? Because 1 minute you get for getting the 200 boxes. Now getting a 200 boxes, and then plus 9-minute deployment time. So in this case, you have to go for the parallel deployment, right? You have to use the tool which has ability through the parallel deployment, right? Now, how to get 200 boxes in 1 minute? So, and how to get 200 boxes in 1 minute? That's a one thing. And second thing, how to do parallel deployment. So these are the two questions which we have to answer in this session. Okay. So one thing is like how to get 200 boxes in 1 minute. So for this you can use the cloud. Okay, you can use the cloud. When you have a cloud, it can be private cloud as well. It can be private cloud, which is, let's say, OpenStack, vSphere and all, vSphere from VMware. Okay, or you can go for the public cloud, something like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and stuff like that. So that way, if you use this cloud platform, you can get 200 boxes in 1 minute. Okay, that's one thing. Now, how to do the parallel deployment? So in order to do the parallel deployment, let's understand the first complexity. So what is the complexity? You may have it in one deployment. So let's say complexity is like, okay, 200 boxes which you have to deploy a product which you have to deploy in, let's say, 9 minutes, out of which, let's say, 100 boxes you have Windows and 100 you have Linux. Okay, this complicate the scenario because testing team want to test and run the test cases in a different app servers. So let's say you have 100, you have IAS, and remaining 100 you have in Apache. Okay, now let's talk about the app server. So maybe if you have a Java applications or something, let's say 50 you have in IAS app server, 50 you have in Tomcat, okay, 50 you have in JBoss, 50 you have in WebLogic. So different app server. Now let's say multiple database also he wants to test it. So let's say 50 he wants to do the MySQL testing. He want to deploy in 50 MySQL, 50 MS SQL, 50 Oracle, which is very popular, and 50 Postgres also. So, and top of that, 100 different configuration he wants to make it, and all this complexity, with all this complexity, the deployment time should not exceed 9 minutes. because one it takes 9 minutes, 200 also should take 9 minutes. So what to do, how to do the parallel deployment, and plus all this complexity and solutions for this are tools like what. So there's a tools which is called a programming based tool which is called Puppet and Ansible, and Chef. So these are the programming based tool, but here GUI based tool also are there, and out of this one of the very popular tool which we have for deployment is Octopus Deploy, right? And then you have a Udeploy also, Urban Deploy from IBM, that is also very popular in a graphical user interface. So basically here, why we are using right now graphical user interface Octopus Deploy, because we want to manage all this complexity. We want to have a parallel deployment, and also getting the 200 boxes in 1 minute tool should do. So that's the reason we are using Octopus Deploy. But you can use any of these tools, Puppet, Ansible, Chef, Octopus Deploy, any tools. So now you understand that here Octopus Deploy is basically is being used for deployment purpose, right? After that, once the deployment is done, probably you want to trigger the acceptance testing, okay? Then code coverage, okay? Code coverage, you do that of code coverage, and after that you finally do the release. Okay, so if everything passes, you do the release. If everything is not passes, then you don't do the release. So this is the something which we do. Apart from that, there are so many things also we do that in between, small thing, which is a part of the SDLC cycle. So overall, Octopus Deploy has been used to manage the complexity of the deployment in a large number of servers having the different configurations in a less span of time. So this is where Octopus Deploy you can use. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is the something which what I have done. So this full flow I have. If you want to know where and all we can use what, so here this is the one URL. You can select the URL here, and then you can come back later, then you can study. So we have understood what is Octopus Deploy, what is the architecture of Octopus Deploy, and where Octopus Deploy stand in SDLC cycle and why do we need it. Then now the next question is how to install Octopus Deploy. So as I said, there is an architecture. So first thing you have to install server, and then you have to have a agent which is called tenants. Okay, tenants. So this is the two things you have to set it up. Just a second. So this is the server and agent. So let's first set it up the server, and then we'll set it up the agent. So now, so we will use the server on AWS and agent on AWS itself. Now server also always has to be Windows, whereas today agent also we will use Windows only. Okay. So now,
can we do it on Azure environment?
yes. So Azure environment, I don't have access right now.
Okay.
If you have accounts, I can use that.
Okay. Yeah, I have account. Yeah, I
Okay.
can share my screen if you can do it there.
So let's do one thing. Let's do one thing because we have 40 minutes right now. So
Yeah.
getting a physical, getting a virtual machine on AWS, for example, getting a Windows VM on AWS and getting a virtual machines on Azure, both is the same. It's not a problem because it's just a matter of getting a machine. Okay. Now, when we talk about the Azure services using the Octopus Deploy, then we will use your account. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like a matter of VMs. So I don't want to
Okay.
waste time, logging into your account and then again, all this stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, so quickly I'll just go and set it up this machine. So here I have a AWS and I'll go for the 2019 base. Now here I'll go for the 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, and I'll go for the 2 machine because one I need for the server and another I need for the tenants. Here hard disk I think 30 GB is sufficient, and then tag I'll make it, I'll just skip the tag for timing, and then here security groups, no firewall I'm setting from the AWS perspective, and here launch the VMs. Now I got this 2 VM launched. Okay, and this I'll make it, one is Octopus server, Octopus deploy server, and one is the plus another one is Octopus tenants, Octopus tenants. Okay, so these are the two servers which we have got it here. Let's go here, get IP address. This is the server IP address, and this is the tenant IP address. Now I will get here both. Okay, now let me log in and get the password for server first. So get a password. I will have to wait for, because Windows just takes a little bit more time to boot up. So I'll just wait for it. Meanwhile, do you have any questions? You said like you want some questions to be answered. So it'll take 3 to 4 minutes. Let's not waste time. And
Yeah. If I can share my screen, I can show you what problem I'm facing.
okay, just a second. So I'll just stop the recordings and then I'll
Yeah.
make you present.
This conference will now be recorded.
Here, so let me get a server and connect, get a password. Now script. So this is a server password.
Can we use that server as well? No.
Okay. Now let me get this tenant also. Meanwhile,
Yeah, Rajesh, my question is, can we use that server as well?
excuse me.
Can we use that server as well? No.
Server as well means
The server you created in AWS.
that after the demo I will destroy this one.
Okay.
So now I got this both the servers for the demo. Now let me quickly install the Octopus Deploy. So here administrator, yes. Now this is the 2019. So first thing what I will do, I will disable the IE security things. That way it will not prompt me a lot. So here server manager, and click on it. Now local server, I enhance security off. Okay. One more thing I will do, I will disable the firewall because I want to access from the outside.
Okay.
So I will disable the firewall. And this one. Now, with this, let me install the Octopus Deploy. So, google.com, download Octopus Deploy here, and you get the, you can use try in the cloud also, and you can, there is some background noise is coming from someone, I don't know.
Let me.
I think it's coming from the Gaurav Kumar.
I muted myself.
Okay, another guy I have muted actually. So now, this is the, you can try in the cloud also, not cloud also. So here I'm just downloading 64-bit. Now I'll just save it. Because of AWS, everything will be fast. Okay, so now I'm just installing the Octopus Deploy. Next, accept the license. Now this is the location where I'm installing it. If you want to change, you can change also. And it's been done. It's very pretty straightforward installations. It is a ASP.NET based application. So basically, .NET is needed, and in 2019 that is already there. One more thing which is needed, which is like MS SQL server. So now I don't have MS SQL license server, so I'm going to use the MS SQL Express edition. So here it is asking, you want to get started or you want to use this server for HA, higher availability. As of now, no desire for HA. Get started. Here, in order to start a free trial, you have to give the name. So let's give the name Rajesh Kumar, organization DevOps School. Now email address DevOps at the rate of Rajesh Kumar, rajeshkumar.xyz. Now here activate. Okay. Now this is being installed at this location. Next. Now I'm going to use the local system account only because I don't have a domain account. Now this is where you need a database, and this database is supported by MS SQL. Now I don't have a database here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to download the SQL Server edition from here. Okay. So immediately I can get this SQL Server edition from here. So I can download any version whichever you feel I like. So now I'm going to go for, let's say, this one and save. Now I'm downloading the SQL Server Express, which is a free edition, by the way. So download is in progress.
Okay.
Okay. So now almost we got this download completed. And It's almost done, 99%.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to install this. I'll go with the default installation because I don't have too much of if and buts with this my SQL Server.
Okay.
So now SQL Server 2017 Express Edition, which is a core actually minimal version, is getting installed. Now here, this is the pop-up. I'm going to use for first option, which is new SQL Server standalone installation or add feature to existing installations. So this is the one. Accept the license. Next. Next. I'll just continue the default, all this stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so my name of the instance is SQL Express. Next. And after that, next again. And here, authentication mode. I go for the Windows authentication mode itself.
Okay.
Now installation is in progress.
So how the Octopus is demanding in market?
Very few programs which has been, in process, like very few programs.
Okay.
So, Rajesh, are you saying so? I
This
think
conference
somebody
will now
has.
be recorded.
So this SQL Server setup is almost done.
So, Rajesh, I have one question. So, are you sending any study materials after the session?
If you need a tool-based, topic-based study materials, I can provide it. But I don't have any
Because
book sort of.
not book, at least the the PDF files or documents which after the session, so we can go for we can go and understand better.
Sure. I will provide that one, but the best thing would be like this session which I'm taking with you. This recordings, if you follow this through, that will be more beneficial because here I'll not be only talking but also showing you the demo. So that way it will be
Okay.
more beneficial. Okay. So my installations of SQL is done. Now let's go and go to the installation process. Here, because I have installed in the same server, I can try to discover this and it should come. And you see SQL Express you have got detected. Now, because if it's a fresh installation, I don't have any database. So what I can do, here I'm creating a new database. So let's say Octopus.
So will it create
Octopus.
a database?
Yes, it will create a database in this SQL Express
Okay.
instance. It will ask you whether you want, as of now you see there is no database. So I'm creating Octopus. Okay. Now next, now you see this database does not exist. Would you like to go for to be created automatically? Yes.
Yeah.
This is the database which we are going to use. We are going to use that 80 port This is a directory where it will be available. Next, now I'll go for that Octopus based user ID and password because Active Directory is not there. So here username is edmin, email address DevOps @ rajeshkumar.xyz, password $admin, sorry, at a capital ADMIN $123, $ADMIN 123. Next, and installations. So almost done. The Octopus deployment has been completed.
Great.
Okay, so here it says almost. Okay, now you see the service started and finish. Okay, so now Octopus deployment has been done. This is the manager, Octopus manager console, where you can browse the Octopus, and here you can start, restart, reinstall, export data, import data. You can bind to the external locations as well. So all this thing, it can be done through this. So for time being, this is the one which I'm going to access now to my browser here. So because I open up my firewall, so it should be available right now here. Now username is ADMIN, password is $ADMIN $123, and here. So now you got this installation done. Now what you have to do, these are the 6 steps you have to perform in order to set up a project in that. This 6 step is this one, 4 step is this one. The first thing, I'll just write it down, this workflow in Octopus. Okay, so after setting up this is the workflow. Whereas this is the step number 1. Create a first environment, deploy environment. After that, step number 2. So step number 2, and this is step number 3. And finally, this is step number 4. Now, one by one, we will go through this here. Okay, so now step number 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the 4 steps to get into the Octopus. Again, so many other features also will be there. So let's go one by one. Step number 1, tell Octopus where to deploy your software. So for that, first thing we have to create an environment. So let's create an environment. So for the environment, you have to go to the infrastructure, and here you have to tell add environment. So I'm creating as per the discussion. If you remember, I'm having the environment which is let's have a environment: dev, integration, production. Okay, so add environment, and here adding environment. This is the dev, safe. Okay, now this environment got created. Here, if you see that you have a name, some description, failure mode, default guided failure mode, no. Dynamic infrastructure, no. Dynamic infrastructure, that means automatically the deployment targets will be added dynamically. As of now, I'm not complicating and being simple and proceeding further. Now, after creating environment, you have to add a deployment targets. Before adding deployment targets, I want to have a three environment created. So dev is done. Now integration I am going to create. So integration, or let's say staging is best. So here I staging also I created. Now again I go and create a production. Okay, so all three environments I have created. Okay, here you see dev, staging, production. Now I'm going to add machines, which we call it a deployment targets to it. Now you see dev you have a 0, staging you have a 0, deployment targets, and production also you have a 0. So now where to set it up? So here you have to go deployment targets and you have to add a deployment targets. You can add it through here also. You can add it through each environment also, whichever way you feel comfortable. So anyway you feel comfortable, you can add. Here you can add a deployment target, you can add it also. And this is the button which I was trying to tell you, edit button, but you were hitting on something different. So here add a deployment targets. Now when you want to add a deployment targets, where you want to deploy. Now if you look at this here, Windows is there, and Windows you have a listening tentacles, pulling tentacles, and Azure VM. And you have SSH connection also, where you can connect to SSH also, mostly Linux boxes. Azure you can connect with the Azure account also, for example Azure Web App, Fabric Cluster, Cloud Services, and VMs. Okay, typically VMs, if you want you can use this one. Now Kubernetes clusters also you can use Kubernetes cluster. Offline package drop also you can do that. Cloud reasons also you can use it, but these are the also options, and you can add more options also if you want it, like AWS.
What does that mean by offline package drop?
Here you create packages and it will be dropped somewhere which you can utilize. So you can, I'll completely show you one demo completely on this offline package drop on this. Okay, so one by one we'll go through this. Okay,
Sure.
so here Windows. Now if you say listening tentacles, okay, and pulling tentacles, so what is the difference? These are the two things which you see. So if you read this very carefully, a listening target will passively listen to a task to perform from the Octopus server. So here if you see that ms in, here there is a server and there is a deployment targets. Okay, now here when you set up the listening tentacles, this guy will listen to this one always, and based on the instruction sent from the server, it will do the task. There is a pulling tentacles. Okay, always keep polling for the task. Keep polling for the task. Okay, so here listening tentacles is this way, pulling tentacles this way. Okay, so which is the best way? So basically always listening tentacle is the best way to avoid the performance issues on the Octopus server. So we will use this one. So let's add here. Now when we want to add, so here now this agent we need to install in the other boxes. This is the agent here, 32-bit installer, 64-bit installer, all this thing. So you have to install this one, and this is the key. Okay, click to the keyboard, copy to the keyboard. This is the key which is required to authenticate to the Octopus Deploy server. So for that, what I will do, because I have a servers already ready. So here, this is the tentacles which I wanted to deploy. MS PSC, go to that location, use administrator, and here yes, and first thing what I will do, I will open up a firewall. This is not a good practice, but I don't want to create exceptions and then troubleshoot and all. So simple way, I'll just open up the firewall. But the good practice is always like you should open up those firewalls only which is required for the app server, web server, or tentacles and all stuff like that. So right now, so here firewall, firewall here. And one more thing is because security is very high in 2019, so I'll disable that, because if I want to browse it, it'll create a lots of trouble for me. So that is also not good practice, but yes, I'm doing it because I want to have a demo without any time wastage. So I just disable the IE security also. So this is not recommended. Both of these things are not recommended. So now with this, I'm going to install the tentacles. So come to this place and I'm going to copy this URL, link address, login, and here now I can download that exe file without any security problem. So let's do that. Save, run. This is the tentacles. We'll have to install it. Accept the agreement. Next. This is the place where we are installing it. Install and finish.
Can
Now
we
after
push
we
tentacle
install,
using Octopus?
what is this?
Can we push the tentacle exe using Octopus? Like if we define a target and then we wanted to install the tentacle. If we have one server, it is easy to install. But suppose if we have 100 servers.
So dynamic, that's a part of the dynamic actually. So you have to
Yeah.
create one image for it, and then after that you have to just thumbprint, you have to update, and it'll be okay. So we'll talk about the dynamic one by one. The topics
yeah.
we will cover one by one.
Yeah.
So that way. So now we have a tentacles right now. Installation is done. Now we have to configure it. So let's get started. Now, which mode you want to? You want to listen mode or polling mode? Listen mode is always good. Let's go for it and run. Here, this is the place where you have a logs and application, and this is the place where you have a application install. So this see tentacles will install application 2 by default this location. Okay. So next, this is the port you should open, but right now I'm just, because I disabled all the port, I don't have to do that. Next, now this is the thumbprint I need to provide. So this is the thumbprint I'll copy from here, and I will go and paste it, and next, and install. Now this tentacles is being configured and finish. So now you see the tentacles is running and listening also. Home directory is this one, log directory is this one, everything is good. Now with this, now we got here. So now I have to give the name of it. So normally typically you put the name whichever you want to have it, host name, and host name is this one. Now this port, and it will start working on it. See here, you want to, here again proxy, if you have proxy you can use the proxy, but I'll talk about the proxy later one by one. Right now at this port it's got started. This is the host thumbnail I've given. Next. Now this is the basically this is the short name for the tentacle. So you can say this is a display name, let's say Windows 1. Okay. Now which environment it belongs to? Here. Now rules. So what is a rule? So typically if you look at the application stack, if you remember here the discussion, see on deployments you may have a Tomcat server like app server, web server, database server, like that. So these are the rules you can decide here as well. So you can decide the rules here. So now let's say this is the web server which I'm having, web server. Okay. So this rule were not exist, so I created just now. Now policies here, select the machine policies. Right now I'll have it a default policy only because I don't have. These are the thumbnails, tentacle URLs, proxy, directly connect, all this thing, and save. And now you see that Windows 1, which is a tentacle listening name, connectivity you see, is unknown right now. So this deployment target was just added and health check has not been performed. So right now health check has not been performed. So, but if you go to this directory, see Octopus, and here you see the many files is already there. So now we will, and here the application will be installed. Right now this directory is empty. So now let me do the manual health check. And now you see that now it's doing the health check.
There a warning?
Hello.
Is there a warning?
This check deployment here is a warning for no, that's okay. As of now, check, it's checking summary. And for 0 seconds. So that's okay. This warning we can ignore it. So here it says Calmary. Calmary is one of the, you can say, it's one of the ways to install what to say package software installations and stuff like that. So now Calmary is not installed, so you can come back and Calmary can be installed. So this you can ignore for time being, because anyways we'll install the Calmary in during the infrastructure. So here dev, here healthy with warnings, this is done. If you want to install Calmary, you can do that also. Let me install the Calmary also. See here, you can upgrade the Calmary, and it will take some more time, but I just wanted to avoid that.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's done. Now, so if you look at this, which are the steps which has been completed? So here, first environment is done. Create your first deployment target is done. Okay, now you have to upload the package. Now typically you upload the package in the NuGet. NuGet is the supported format, but for today's demo I'll use the zip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a quickly one zip file. So this is the zip file. This is a pack 1.0. Now if you keep the zip file pack only, it will not support. You'll have to give the versioning actually. So that way this is the right practice. Now here I'll have some dummy file for time being. index.html. Okay, now this is the one file which you want to deploy and package. Send to compressed. This is the package now. So now what I'm doing, I'm uploading your package from upload your package or add an external feed. Feed means NuGet package. Let's go to this library, and here you have to go to the package and upload a package. So here choose the package which is on desktop, and it is on file which is pack.1, and here upload. So now this package, because of the number which I given 1.0, it has automatically taken, and version is 0 now. So I should have given 1.1. That is a bad thing I did, but yeah, version 0 right now, and this package is available. Now you see version 0. Now what you can do, you want to have a different package with 1.0, you can upload one more 1.1. So here 1.1. Okay, and then again zip it, the new version will be uploaded. So here 1.1, and now again upload one more package, same package name, version is different. So here pack 1.1, open and upload. Now here version you got. So altogether you got the package version 0 and 1. Content is remain same, but it's just for the demo. Okay, so now this is also package is done in zip file. So let's say done. Now with this I'm going to set up a life cycle something like this. So whenever you want to set up a life, this is a default life cycle. You can set up your own life cycle. For example, if something is done, let's say this is my product X life cycle. Okay, product X life cycle. In this you have to describe that, and here retention policy and which are the phases. So you can add a phases here, which is your first life cycle. So first life cycle, let's say you have a phase dev environment dev. So like this you can create a life cycle, add phases and phase name dev and which environment basically. So add environment here dev, click OK. Now like this you can keep adding and save, keep adding and save. So this is the one phase. Now I will save it. Now see here life cycle. So this is my life cycle prod. I'll go and add one more phase. So go edit phase. So add phase, and second phase which I'm adding is staging, dev to stage, and now add this environment and stage environment and click OK like that and save. So now this is your staging right now. Okay, so life cycle you created. By the way, there was a default life cycle created default. Now this is my life cycle dev, and here dev to staging. Okay, so like this you can create your own life cycle. This I'll discuss in detail when we have a more machines, because I have right now only one machine, so not all the life cycle will work right now, but this is the way. So you created a package, you got the life cycle. Also there is one default life cycle got created. With this, now you have to go and create a deployment process. For the deployment process, first you have to create a project. So go to the project here, click on the project, add a project. Here, let's say project name is product X. This is the project products, and this is for demo prod X. Now, this is a products group. So you can, if you have a multiple project, you can manage through the group also. But right now we don't have any projects, and this is a place where you can select the default life cycle. So or prod life cycle. So I'll go for the prod life cycle and save it. Now this is also done. So create a first project. This is also done. Now I have to define the process. And actually, if you talk about the Octopus deploy, this is your main task. This is where you have to spend a lot of time to do the proper research and stuff like that. This is your main task. Right?
Yeah.
So here you have to go and give the process. So click on the process, add a process. When you click and here add step, and here if you see, when you want to add a step, here you have multiple steps. You want to deploy to IIS, deploy to Windows services, deploy a package, run a script, do the Azure deployment, and if you scroll down, hell lot of things you have. You know, hell lot of things. Okay, hell lot of things. Again, these, if you look at these, are the one which you can see here. These are the templates given by Octopus Deploy. But if you go down, scroll down, you have some of the community contributed templates also, and you see here contributed complete here. So now right now I'll just go with one of the simple thing, deploy a package. So now package is ready for me, and this is a step name, copy a package. Okay, copy a package. Okay, this is step name, enable execution location deployment target. Now on this target role, which role? So let's say web server. Web server has only one machine. Now what package detail? So package detail you have to give it. So package watch, I forgot the package name. I think
pack one.
yeah. So Yeah. So pack one here, given the detail, it will download directly from the package from the Octopus server only. I'll keep it default,
But
and
which
then
package it will take, Rajesh? Excuse me. We
during the release
upload
process,
two packages, right? We
during
have
the
added
release
two packages.
during the release process, I'll show you.
Okay.
So save. So now this option is also completed. So here this is also done. By the way, let me tell you, this is the real work which you have to spend a lot of time here. Okay. Once the package is done, okay, now you have to go to the release, and this is the way you have to do the create a release. So now you have to say which particular version you want. Okay. So here products 0.01, which is getting started here. You can, and one package here, which package you want here, package 1 or 0, what you want. So if you want 0, you can specify specific one. If you want the latest, which is 1 is the latest, here you can decide older or newer version. Okay, this you can decide 1.0 what version of release you are doing for the product X and which package you want. So this is good, right? 1.1 and release number 1. Okay,
Yeah.
save it. Okay, done. So now all this setup is done. Create a release is also done. Now finally click on the deploy release. For this, first environment which was there as part of your life cycle was deploy to development environment. So let's do deployment to development environment. So did I added a server in the development environment? Let me check. I forgot completely. So environment, development environments. So go to here, products, and now deployment is in progress, and I think it got completed. So let's verify. Still it has not come. I'm just waiting. Let's check it out. Just a second. I did click on the deploy. Okay, deploy and deploy. Sorry, I did not click at that time. Now I had to click.
Yeah.
Now let's go and check. See, you have come, got it. Pack 1 here, pack 1.1 and index dot. So this is the deployment I did. And now after that, this, if it is successful, you can deploy to staging, which is not having any server, and followed by production. So this is the just introduction of Octopus Deploy. Using that, we covered what is Octopus Deploy, what is the architecture of Octopus Deploy, why where this stands in SDLC cycle, and then what is the complexity which it resolved, and then
Yeah.
finally workflow of Octopus Deploy. Okay.
Yeah, Rajesh. Can you please take an example of installing MSI?
Okay. First
This
logic.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So now what you want to install MSI, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first step, think in this way. First thing, copy a MSI file to target directory. Target directory. Okay. Now, once the target directory is done, then you try to run command to run the MSI. So command to run MSI. Basically, if you are having the PowerShell script, run ps to MSI. And this should be the silent installer, because the one which you are let me tell you here, you need to understand the MSI property. There's a command line installation, interactive installation, okay, and
Yeah.
interactive installation, and there's a silent installation. So silent installation, you have to first manually forget about the Octopus Deploy, that exe whatever you have to understand the silent installation properties, create the silent installation property, keep it ready, and put it in the script, and then copy that MSI file in the target directory and run that silent installer our shell script. So now
Okay.
how can you copy? So basically you can deploy a package through this, and you can run a script which is you have written for the PowerShell script through this one. Okay, so these two. The question is, where do you copy the script? If you go to the library section and go to the script module, here you can upload your script module also, PowerShell scripts and all. Okay, which you can
Yeah,
copy.
Rajesh, if you please could do a demo of installing MSI, that will be a great helpful. Because I did try and it was very hectic for me. I have been trying since long.
Okay, so as of now, the problem is like always. I mean, I'm already 9/11, and I have something other lined up. First thing. Second thing, I don't have any MSI for the sample installation right now available. So let's do one thing. Can you do one thing? So just drop me an email just after this meeting,
Yeah.
and with your detailed requirement. And tomorrow evening, I will try to connect with you, and then do that. Will that be
Okay.
okay
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah. Tomorrow, what time?
Tomorrow I'll budge you through WhatsApp.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this recordings I'm going to share with you, and any questions, whatever you have. Next demo, it's like this. So now I gave you the beginner uh, demo for this product. Now anything which you would like to get it done through this product, what you can do, just drop me an email, and then with the scenarios, and I will
Which
prepare the same
email?
scenarios. Yeah, I'll prepare the same scenarios, and I'll give you the demo on that only.
Yeah. Your email address, please.
So you can note down my email address, which is here. Okay.
Yeah.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.